I'm Kelly, 34. Standing in the opulent ballroom of my sister Lily's wedding, I was initially caught up in the joyous atmosphere. But then, during the toasts, my mother, Grace, stood up with a champagne flute in hand. She started her speech in a typical mother of the bride way, but then, to my utter shock, she revealed that Lily had been secretly sabotaging my career and relationships for years. The champagne glass slipped from my fingers and shattered on the table, and the room fell into stunned silence. As I looked at Lily, I saw guilt in her eyes. That was the moment I decided to uncover the full extent of her betrayal and seek justice. Before I delve into how my entire family's world fell apart that night, I'd love to know where you're watching from. If this shattered glass has piqued your interest, hit the like button and subscribe to follow my journey from betrayal to truth. Trust me, what my mother revealed at that reception was just the tip of the iceberg. I've always lived in the shadow of my younger sister, Lily. She was the golden child of our family in the suburbs of Chicago. Our childhood home was filled with her awards and certificates, while my own achievements seemed to fade into the background. My mother, Grace, was a perfectionist and often compared me unfavorably to Lily. "Kelly, why can't you be as charming as Lily?" she'd say. "Lily gets promotions without even trying. Maybe you should learn from her," was another common refrain, even though I was making a name for myself as a successful software engineer. Despite these comparisons, I always tried to maintain a good relationship with Lily. We'd have dinners together when our schedules allowed, exchange birthday gifts, and offer each other advice. I genuinely celebrated her successes and thought she did the same for me. However, over the past year, strange things started happening. I was passed over for a big promotion at work after the management received false information about my work ethic. My long-term relationship with Mark ended abruptly when he couldn't explain his sudden doubts. And my apartment flooded mysteriously, forcing me to move in with my grandmother, Rose, temporarily. Through it all, Lily was outwardly supportive. "That company didn't deserve you anyway," she'd say about the lost promotion. "Mark clearly wasn't the one." She'd console me after the breakup. She even offered for me to stay with her, but her place was too far from my office. I threw myself into helping Lily plan her wedding to Ethan Thompson, the heir to a large tech company. Ethan seemed kind-hearted and genuinely in love with Lily. Planning their wedding gave me something positive to focus on while my own life was in turmoil. At the engagement party at the Thompson estate, I overheard Lily on the phone in the study. Her voice was hushed but intense. "No, she doesn't suspect a thing. Just stick to the plan. It's almost done." When she saw me, she quickly ended the call and gave me her perfect smile, saying she was talking to the caterer about the menu. I pushed my suspicions aside, thinking it was just wedding-related stress. A week before the wedding, while helping Lily with her dress alterations at our parents' house, I heard her on the phone again. "She'll be there, but she won't be a problem. Mom's on board with everything." When I asked her about it later, she waved it off as pre-wedding jitters. My grandmother, Rose, seemed to sense my unease. During a dinner at her cozy apartment in the city, she looked at me over her glasses and asked, "Has Lily always been truly kind to you?" I was taken aback by the question but assured her that Lily and I had a good relationship. Rose pursed her lips and said, "I've watched that girl for a long time. There's something off about her." Her words planted a seed of doubt in my mind. The night before the wedding, at the rehearsal dinner, I was seated between Ethan's college friend and his elderly aunt. I was nursing a glass of wine and forcing smiles. When I excused myself to use the restroom, I nearly bumped into Mark in the hallway. He looked startled and said he was invited by Lily as a last-minute plus one. Before I could respond, Lily appeared, linking her arm through Mark's. "There you are." "Oh, Kelly, I see you found Mark. Wasn't it sweet of him to fill in?" Something about the way they stood together sent a chill down my spine, but I pushed the feeling aside, determined to be the supportive sister on Lily's big day. On the morning of the wedding, I arrived at the bridal suite at 7 a.m. with coffee and pastries for the bridal party. Lily was already in her silk robe, looking fresh despite the early hour. The makeup artist was running late, and Mom was in a panic about the flower girl's bouquet. I started organizing the bridesmaids' jewelry and accessories. Even though I was Lily's only sister, I wasn't the maid of honor. That role went to her high school friend, Ava. Lily had said she needed me to coordinate everything behind the scenes. As the ceremony time approached, Lily became increasingly snippy, criticizing the bridesmaids' hair and makeup. When I handed her the pearl necklace our grandmother had given her, she snapped, "I'm wearing the diamond one Ethan gave me. The pearls look so old-fashioned." I bit my tongue, knowing it was her day. Just before it was time to get dressed, Lily pulled me aside. "Despite everything, you're my big sister. I wouldn't be who I am without you," she said, sounding vulnerable for a moment. I hugged her and told her I was happy for her. But then, Mom burst in, saying it was time for the dress, and the moment was gone. The wedding ceremony was beautiful, with over 200 guests filling the garden of the Thompson estate. As Ethan recited his vows, I noticed Mark sitting on the groom's side. Our eyes met briefly, and he quickly looked away. After the ceremony, during the cocktail hour, I observed some strange interactions. Mark seemed overly familiar with Ethan's friends, and Lily stopped to talk to him for an uncomfortably long time. At one point, I saw them share a private laugh, and Mark's hand briefly touched her waist. My mother cornered me by the champagne fountain. "You look nice, Kelly, but a bit more makeup wouldn't hurt. Those dark circles make you look tired," she said. I replied drily that long hours at work were to blame. She sighed and said I should consider a less demanding job. She also asked if I'd be speaking during the toasts. When I said I wasn't asked, she frowned and said I should say something as Lily's sister. Then came the toasts. Ethan's best man gave a funny speech, and Ava followed with an emotional tribute to Lily. When it was my mother's turn, Grace stood up gracefully. She started by praising Lily, but then turned to me and revealed the years of sabotage. She detailed how Lily had sent false emails to my colleagues, spreading lies about my work. She knew that Lily had deliberately pursued Mark to test his loyalty to me. And she'd seen the receipts for the plumber Lily hired to flood my apartment. The ballroom erupted in gasps and murmurs. I sat there, frozen, unable to process what I was hearing. Lily stood up and tried to dismiss it as Mom having an episode. But I could see the truth in her face. Without a word, I walked out of the ballroom and into the garden. A woman about my age, Ethan's sister, Olivia, found me on a bench. "I always thought there was something off about Lily," she said. "Ethan was so in love he couldn't see it." She believed what my mother said and shared some of her own observations about Lily's manipulative behavior. That night, I checked into a hotel, unable to face going back to my parents' house. The next morning, I called my grandmother, Rose. She welcomed me with open arms and said she always knew Lily was up to no good. Olivia became an unexpected ally in my investigation. She showed me evidence from Lily's old laptop, including emails between Lily and a former colleague of mine, spreading false rumors about me. There were also messages with Mark, showing that Lily had deliberately driven a wedge between us. And bank statements revealed that Lily had been making small withdrawals from our joint savings account for years. I reached out to Mark to confront him. He admitted that Lily had manipulated him, and their relationship started as an emotional affair before our breakup. He also said that Lily had invited him to the wedding to hurt me more. As I gathered more evidence, I struggled with what to do. Part of me wanted immediate revenge, but another part wanted to understand why Lily would do this to me. I started seeing a therapist, Dr. Carter, who helped me realize that Lily's behavior might be related to deeper psychological issues. I also learned more about my family's history. Through my grandmother, Rose, I found out that my mother, Grace, had a difficult relationship with her own sister. Grace was always jealous of her sister's success, and this dynamic had been passed down in our family. I decided to confront my father, Henry. He was a quiet man who always tried to keep the peace. When I told him about the evidence, he admitted that he suspected Lily wasn't always kind to me, but had chosen to stay silent to avoid family conflict. He also revealed that Lily wasn't his biological daughter. Grace had had an affair early in their marriage, and when she got pregnant, they decided to raise Lily as their own. This explained my mother's over-protectiveness of Lily, but it didn't excuse Lily's actions. Over time, I developed a plan. I wanted to expose Lily's actions in a way that would bring truth and consequences without completely destroying her life. I also worked on rebuilding my own life. As the months passed, my reputation at work was restored, and I received a well-deserved promotion. I also started dating again, this time with someone who truly appreciated me. Lily's marriage to Ethan started to show signs of strain. Ethan was becoming more aware of her manipulative behavior. And Lily, after being confronted with the evidence, started therapy and reached out to me, saying she wanted to understand what had happened between us. On a warm summer evening, I hosted a small dinner at my new apartment. My grandmother, Rose, Olivia, my new boyfriend, and some close friends were there. As we enjoyed dessert, I raised my glass and said, "To the daughter who learned that family is about love and truth, not secrets and betrayal." The next day, I received a notification about Lily's court appearance for financial restitution. After careful consideration, I decided not to attend. I knew that justice would be served and my energy was better spent on building my new life. The cycle of betrayal and dysfunction in my family was finally broken, and I was ready to embrace a future filled with truth and love.